If all your friends jump off a bridge, you're gonna jump off the bridge too? Maybe. It might be a little lit down there. Well, no protection, just vibes. Like, I was so dumb. It was burning. Burning. STDs. I have an STD. Hey y'all, I said that in a minute. Welcome back to my channel. This is your first time here, then welcome. My name is Frankie. I sat down to record a video in forever. There's been a whole lot of stuff going on. Okay, I had a lot of drama in my life, a lot of changes in my life. I swear I can explain. I ain't going to though, but I could. Regardless of all of that, I wanted to record a video today. I had inspiration to record a story time. This situation came up in my head. That's usually how it happens. Stuff comes up in this big old head of mine. And I just thought like that would be such an interesting story to tell. So I was just like, let me break out my camera, let me dust out my ring light and sit down and record like I got some sense. By now you've seen the title, you know already, but today's story time is about the time that I thought I had an STD. Yep, I thought I had an STD. Your girl was very sure that her coochie was out of commission. Okay, like always, this video is makeup get ready with me style. I was gonna actually do the wig on camera, but this wig pissed me off mid-application, so I was like, no, I'm not doing that. We're just gonna jump right into the video, but before I get started, I just got two quick things. Number one, if you hear my son in the background, ain't nothing changed. I'm still a mama, and I still am not gonna make him be quiet. He's 3. And number two, give this video a thumbs up. Okay, like it if you like it, and subscribe to my channel so when I do get back to being consistent again, you don't miss anything. Hit that notification bell so you get the notifications every time that I post. And I think that's it, so let's jump into the video. Okay, so first of all, this whole situation happened when I was 17 years old. That's the first problem. My mom ain't play that, so anything that I did, I have to do in secrecy, or I felt like I had to do in secrecy because I felt like I couldn't, like, tell my mama that I was doing that stuff. Basically, I was just scared that I was going to get in trouble. And I think a pretty good rule of thumb here is if you can get in trouble by telling somebody that you're having sex, you shouldn't be having sex. You know, peer pressure is a mother. So I was doing it because like everybody else was doing it. If all your friends jump off a bridge, you're gonna jump off the bridge too? Maybe. It might be a little lit down there. Anything that I knew about sex, like, granted, my mother had talked to me about sex, and like I had some type of knowledge about sex. Like I knew how easy it was to get pregnant and condoms, blah blah blah. Like I knew all of that. Some degree of sexual education in my school's curriculum pretty much since middle school, so I wasn't completely oblivious, but like outside of stuff that I was taught by my mother and in health class, all my sex education came from like TV and my friends who were equally as dumb as me. Like, we the blind leading the blind child. Don't nobody know what the hell we talking about, but we talking about it though. I have older siblings, so I probably could have said something to like one of them about it if I wanted to know some stuff, but like, you know, it's just like snitch culture with your siblings. Like, you be feeling like they're gonna tell you about everything, so I want to get them nothing to tell me about. So I just felt like, you know, anything that I needed to know, I could look it up, and I was good. Like, I didn't need no type of outside information. I thought I was grown. So me with that limited information brings me back to being 17. So when I was 17, I had a boyfriend. He wasn't my first boyfriend, but he was the first boyfriend that like took it like seriously. Like, he really came around my parents and stuff. Like, he would be at my parents' house. Like, I had never done that as like a teenager. Had a boyfriend that was around all the time. He was the first. And when I was 17, I was a senior, and I did not live with my parents. I lived with my parents on the weekend, but during the week I stayed with my auntie because she lived by my high school. My parents moved from my school area, so it was just easier for me to stay with her to go to school. And I would just go home to my parents on the weekends. I knew him through my best friend from when I was in high school. They were cousins. And y'all, when I say I was in love with him, I was in love with him. I don't feel like he really need a name for the story, but we just gonna call him B. B had met my parents, like I said, but I'm pretty sure my mother like didn't have any thought that we were having sex. As I lived with my aunt. My aunt was always home. I lived with two of my aunts. They're sisters, obviously. They were both always home. So there was always somebody in my auntie's house. So there was no bringing no boys in there and having sex in there. So she knew I wasn't doing it over there. She knew I wasn't doing it at her house. So it was just like, she probably thought that me and him weren't having sex at all. Up to this point, my mother has no idea that I'm having sex. However, my best friend mama won't never home.
Your mama ain't never home.
And B is her cousin, so he would be at her house. And yeah, we would do the do. That is so sad. I hope my son is not as sneaky as I was when I was in high school. Oh my God. So like as an adult, I have like the mindset that if my kids are sexually active like when they're young, I would want them to tell me just so that like can ensure that they're being as safe as possible. Condoms, birth control, STD testing, all of that. Like, I want them to be comfortable enough to tell me so that I can guide them in the right direction. They're not getting advice from their stupid young friends about what to do. But when you're 17 looking at the situation, it's like, I'm not telling my mama. Like, you're the kid in the situation. It's like, you know, parents just don't understand. My mama ain't gonna hear me. She ain't gonna hear nothing I'm saying. I'm gonna get in trouble. For me, it was really like, I'm gonna just do this my way and pray for the best. I'm 17 and stupid, and you know, I'm not saying that as the older person between the two of us, he should have been more responsible for me, because I think the burden of responsibility was on both of us when we decided to have sex. But like, we were having unprotected sex. It wasn't no condoms in sight, no birth control, because like I said, I didn't tell my mom. I didn't even have a gynecologist at this time. Like, still going to my pediatrician. Like, it wasn't no protection, just vibes. Like, I was so dumb. And I guess if I wasn't making him wear the protection, he wasn't going to take the extra mile to do it either. So, like, we really was just out here vibing and on a hope and a prayer. Like, that's so stupid. I was so dumb. But I was in love. I'm here young, dumb, full of cum. And I feel like I'm living my best life. Every time you think you're living your best life, God will come to humble you, I swear. Throughout the week, I would go to school and be at my aunt's house. I had my own room or whatever. And when the weekend came, usually on a Friday, my dad would just come get me from my aunt's house, or my boyfriend would take me to my parents' house, like something. I would end up at my parents' house. Whatever reason, I didn't go on a Friday this weekend. My dad wasn't going to come get me till Saturday morning, something like that. You know, as a kid, I don't do this anymore as an adult, but as a kid, when I would wake up in the morning, I would just lay in my bed for like a really long time and just go pee at the very last minute. Don't do that. It's not good for you. I just saw like a TikTok where this girl said she was dying from like kidney failure or something from holding her pee. I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure it's not good for you, so don't do it. But at 17, that's what I was doing. I was laying in my bed. One morning, I'm laying in my bed. It's a nice normal day, scrolling on my phone. I was probably on Twitter or something. And out of nowhere, I just had the urge to pee. Like, really freaking bad. So I hop up out my bed, hop up out that bed, turn my swag on. I hopped up out my bed and I went to the bathroom. So when I went to the bathroom, sat in the toilet, you know, I go to pee and nothing really comes out. Like, it's like the smallest amount of pee comes out. That wasn't the problem for me. The problem for me was once I was done peeing, when I got to like that last little bit of trickling of pee, I just felt this like burning sensation. Like, it was burning so bad, and it felt like a throbbing pain. Like, I ain't never felt nothing like this before. So confused, I didn't know what was going on, and I'm just like, what the fuck? But once I like relaxed, like, you know, I didn't have to pee anymore, the feeling went away. So like, I'm 17 and I don't know shit. I just ignore it and I go get back in my bed and get back on my phone. Like, it's over. It ain't a big deal, whatever. And in my bed again, scrolling on Twitter or whatever I was scrolling on. And once again, I gotta pee. What the fuck is going on? I just went to go pee. Like, why do I have to pee again? It's still not registering to me that this could be a problem because I'm 17 and stupid. Which again brings home the point that if you don't know stuff about your coochie, you shouldn't be using it. LP, there's even less pee this time than there was the first time. Like, it was literally barely anything at all. Like, at least the first time there was enough because I had been asleep or whatever. But this time there was barely anything at all. And once I got to the end of peeing, once again, I had that burning, throbbing feeling. And I'm like, what is this? So at this point, I'm scared. Like, what the fuck is happening? At this point, there was so much about, like, my vagina, period, that I just wasn't aware of. But you know, when you hear about STDs, you hear, like, people say, like, oh, she got burnt, he got burnt, he burnt her, like, burning. So, like, I'm like, burning, STDs. I have an STD. So I'm sitting here thinking, like, is it possible that I have an STD? Like, what's going on? You would think, like, the next course of action, if you think you have an STD, would be like, okay, let me go to the doctor. But at 17, in my brain, I'm like, if I go to the doctor, I have to tell my mama, like, I don't even know the number to my doctor. Still going to my pediatrician. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to tell my mama yet. Like, I want that to be the last resort. Google the symptoms and see what Google tell me. So using Google as a means to diagnose yourself is stupid. Please just go to the doctor. But for me, at the time, going on Google and looking up all my symptoms was the first course of action. So what are my symptoms, okay? Frequent urination, a burning sensation after I pee, and like that throbbing feeling. Those are my symptoms. So if I was to look that up today, I would probably type painful frequent urination. I could still get like a plethora of results for what could be wrong with me based on Google, but I feel like typing that in would give you at least something to start with. What I typed in the search bar was like burning in vagina STD. So you can imagine what I got as search results when I typed this into the search bar. Like, the search results went crazy. See the search results and I'm just like ready to cry. Like, I'm telling myself, like, oh, okay, I have chlamydia. Oh my god, I got chlamydia and gonorrhea. Diagnosing myself with herpes. I'm going to go check for bumps. I'm going crazy. I gotta tell my mama, because after like a couple of hours being awakened in my room, I went to the bathroom like 20 times, not even exaggerating. That painful feeling, it was excruciating to me. Like, I could not, it wasn't something I could ignore. So I'm like, all right, I have to go to the doctor. Which means I gotta tell my mama that I'm having sex and I got an STD. Y'all, I never wanted to cry so bad. It's like, if you know me and you knew my mama, like, God rest her soul, my mama was crazy. When I got older, I realized like she was more understanding than I thought. But like, at that point in time in my life, like, I just thought my mother was like so mean and so like she ain't know nothing. Like, she just old. Like, she don't know what she's talking about. I hope my kids don't think that about me when they older. But I just did not want to talk to my mom about this. Like, I'm like, I don't want to tell her that, like, I'm having sex. She's not going to understand. Like, I'm going to get in trouble, blah, 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 blah. All the stuff that I had convinced myself. But like I said, it was either telling my mama or walking around with my coochie burning. So, supposed to go over there anyway because it was the weekend. Like I said, I went to my parents' house every weekend. But I was like, I can't wait till I get over there to tell her, like, this is one of the things that I gotta send in a message. Eggs. I was saying, so I was like, okay, I gotta tell my mama. And I sent it in a text message because I was a punk bitch and I wasn't about to call her and tell her that I had an STD and that I was having sex. Like, I wasn't doing that. Just wasn't gonna come out. Those words were not going to come out of my mouth. So I was just like, oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna just text her and tell her. So I said something along the lines of like, mommy, me and I said his fucking name. I said something along the lines of like, mommy, me and B have been having sex and I have to pee a lot and like it hurts when I use the bathroom and I think I have an STD. My mother, she didn't even get mad. She was just like, all right, well, I'm gonna take you to the hospital So later that day, we go to the emergency room, which where we live, the emergency room, I hate this hospital. Like, I would never go to this hospital again in my natural born life. I will go past this hospital to another hospital before I ever go to this hospital. It's so bad. Like, your wait time is literally like, you gonna be in there. If you get there in the afternoon, you gonna be in there till the next morning. So we get to the hospital and we waiting in the waiting room. But in the meantime, baby, the dramatics, oh, I turn them up. I started playing the role I was born to play. I'm a queen, okay? That word was made for me. I am she and she is me. I started laying on my mama's shoulder and shit. I mean, just realistically, I was like a spoiled brat anyway. Like, I was 20 years old still sitting on my mom's lap. Like, I was that kid. But I definitely turned it up in the waiting room. So we sitting there until we finally get called to the back. They put me in a room. They start running all these blood tests. They do, like, you know, vaginal exam. We got there, it was probably like 4 or 5. I didn't start getting results to test and stuff back until like 3 in the morning. But when I did get my results back, you know what was wrong with me? I had a UTI. I had a fucking UTI. I had no STDs. I wasn't pregnant. None of that was an issue. That was all a non-factor. I had a urinary tract infection. So they gave me an antibiotic and sent me the fuck home. I was so mad. I was so embarrassed. I was so ashamed because it's just like, I don't even know what that is. Which again, if you don't know everything there is to know about your genitalia, you should not be using said genitalia. Like, close your legs. And after that, my mother found me a gynecologist, and I went to my gynecologist. We talked about birth control. I got on birth control. The cat was out of the bag at this point. My mama knew that my boyfriend was busting it down. I felt like I told her that for nothing, because if I knew what a UTI was, I would have just said, Mommy, I think I got a UTI. Can we go to, like, the doctor? And I would have been fine. Please wait to have sex until you are ready. And when you are ready, be responsible. At 17 years old, I ain't had no business popping coochie like that. Yes, I was only with him, but I don't know who he was with before me, and it could have ended really bad for me. I could have actually had an STD. It could have been one that I would have had to live with for the rest of my life. And if you are sexually active, please get tested often. If you are going to be out here popping it, okay, at least pop it responsibly, all right? Birth control, condoms, something. Do something to secure your stuff. And that is the story of how I thought I had an STD. I love getting on the internet and embarrassing myself, I swear. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. The story wasn't long, like I said, but it was a nice little key. It was a nice little laugh. I laugh at it. It's funny to me. I'm not gonna promise consistency because I don't make promises that I can't keep. But, like, I've been having some ideas again lately. So, maybe. I love you for watching today. And until next time, I will see you later. You real crusty in the mouth. Sitting there. Ooh, my voice did what? Alright, this was nice and fun, but I gotta get back to reality and be somebody's mama. And I'm hungry, so I gotta make food.